Hi to everyone listening. Welcome to my channel. This is Aaliyah's commentary. I hope everyone is having a good day. And today I want to give my perspective on love and more so self-love. The reason I want to give my perspective on self-love is because I learned that it's required. Self-love is required. Self-love creates a foundation in your mind that's responsible for keeping you and everything else in your life stable. And it's really nowhere near enough to just say or moderately think the words, I love myself. Self-love is caring about yourself and how you feel, and being willing to do what's best for you, depending on what you find important. And it's also about figuring out what's really important. For example, say a woman, we'll call her Brenda, went to the doctor and was told that she's 60 pounds overweight and she needed to lose it or deal with serious health repercussions in the future. Brenda is now faced with the question of what she loves most: extra cheesy, salty comfort foods, or her body and quality of life. Let's say that Brenda decided that her health and body is more important. So she proceeds to do research, figure out a healthier way to eat, get on a workout schedule of some kind. Nothing, too drastic, maybe walking for 30 minutes a few times a week, and find the time to incorporate this into her daily schedule. Now, of course, Brenda will want to eat all the soul food and cheesy entrees and desserts that she used to, and may even indulge herself here and there. But she's already established that her health is way more important. And so, she will allow herself to change her habits so that her body can change. Because Brenda understands that if she desires different outcomes in life, she must be the one making different life decisions consistently. So she doesn't try to lie to herself and tell herself that she can keep doing the same thing she's been doing and get different results, because that would just be negligence, right? And her resisting the care that she needs for her body. Because in reality, there's really no lying to yourself. You're always aware of how you feel, believe it or not. So all the lying, faking, and BSing that we do in every aspect of our lives is really only a message. You're just sending a message to your own psyche that you just don't care enough. Think about why we lie to ourselves about certain things or try to avoid things altogether. It's because we don't want to do the work. We're not willing to be uncomfortable, put ourselves on the spot, or do our due diligence to work these things out so we can get past them. It's so much easier just to lie and say it's okay, you're fine, and try to push it all down somewhere. When you're communicating to yourself through your actions that you don't believe your feelings are important enough to do something about, this builds up resentment, bitterness, anxiety, and all kinds of other psychological issues that will create your own personal hell that you have to walk around with every day of your life for as long as you're willing to do nothing. And the real sinister thing about that is your mind is filled with beliefs that make up your foundation. Who and what you are. Who and what you are is just a manifestation of your mind. So if it's filled with hell, that hell will manifest itself through your thoughts, your words, your actions, how you treat other people, and how you treat yourself. And all of this is what attracts the physical hell that goes on around you. In other words, negligence attracts mental hell, and mental hell attracts literal hell. So for anyone listening who can attest to this, please put your experiences of how your mental state attracted certain things in your life. And I have a couple of personal experiences myself that I'll put into. In my opinion, the opposite of self-negligence is self-love. And what self-love does is create a foundation of worthiness. This is the foundation that creates heaven in your life. What's heaven? The life you want. Self-love makes you feel worthy of all the things you want in life. Unconditional love, wealth, health, fulfillment, fun, what have you. In order for you to attract these things in your life, You have to believe that you're worthy of them first. That's what I learned. You're not working your way up to being healthy. You were healthy the moment you decided to take action towards being healthy. And after that moment, you're just doing what a healthy person does. Incorporating more fruits and veggies in your diet, exercising more. This is just what healthy people do, right? And then eventually you start to see the evidence of where that action has gotten you. But you cannot wait until you see what you want to happen before you start believing you're worthy of it. Your actions are just a manifestation of your thoughts. And your thoughts are a manifestation of your beliefs. Your belief system is where everything starts. To reiterate, self-love starts in the mind and it manifests itself through action. Anyone who really cares about something being done will literally do everything in their power to see it through. I read about this 19-year-old girl that lifted a burning pickup truck off her dad before he could be burnt to death. I read about another woman who lifted and pushed a 2,000-pound BMW off her dad when it crushed him while he was changing the tire. All that energy that these women used to do what some would deem impossible is in every last one of us, just waiting to be utilized in a situation that we feel is important enough to channel it for. So just imagine what we could all accomplish for ourselves if we had that same passion for our own lives and goals. If I spend the vast majority of my time doing things that have nothing to do with what I'm passionate about, what am I doing with my life? Right? And this includes the things that we do as a means to an end, such as working for money. If the work that I do has nothing to do with my passion, then I just made myself a slave to money. And people don't sell themselves into slavery out of love. They do it out of desperation. I believe that the quality of life that we attract comes from what we do out of love. And whatever we do out of desperation just leads to more desperation. This, in my opinion, is one of the many ways that a lot of us create hell for ourselves. People have just gotten so used to putting so much of their efforts into someone else's interests that they just convince themselves that they have no energy left to dedicate to their own at the end of the day. But once someone has managed to take themselves and their goals seriously, out of genuine love for themselves, they can literally be and do anything on earth that they want, even if it seems impossible. The people who managed to do the impossible were people who knew they were capable of it before they even had the evidence to do so. That is how important beliefs are. Am I making my point? Showing self-love is like treating yourself as you would your baby or anybody else you love dearly. I noticed for some people it's way easier for them to love someone else than it is for them to love themselves. But the trick is to change your perspective. You want to see yourself as just as important and precious as any other precious and important thing you can think of, because why would you be any less? The reason I say you want to love yourself as much as you love your baby is because the love someone has for their child is probably the purest, most unconditional love that we can fathom, right? Pure and unconditional love is the only kind of love worthy of you. Believe this, and you open a whole world for yourself that you never even knew you had access to. But believing this means you also must become a source of pure and unconditional love. What do you do for someone you love unconditionally? Many things. Everything you can, right? You provide support for one. So, become your own support. If you decide that you want to be a more confident person, look up habits you can pick up to become more confident. See what books have been written on it and read them. Sign yourself up for classes or seminars. Study confident people. Self-love is a motivator that sparks something in you to go out and make things happen for yourself. That motivation cannot come from a mind filled with self-deprecating thoughts. That's another reason why beliefs, aka your foundation, is so important. Have you noticed that loving someone and really being in love with someone automatically makes them worthy of the whole world, and so you give it to them if you could? When you have that same love for yourself, all of a sudden you feel worthy of having anything in the world. Self-love makes you feel whole, and like the validation that you give yourself is all you need and makes you less needy for other people's validation. I know one thing that people are plagued with, and me too a lot of the time, is this fear of what other people think about them. Self-love makes you stronger and more resilient mentally. Once you realize you don't need everyone else to love and validate you, they can't control you. You're less likely to stay in a toxic relationship or entertain fake friends because you feel worthy of a healthy relationship and of real friends. When you become good at showing yourself genuine love, you'll know that the love that you receive from others should look similar. It's kind of like a father, right? He spoils his daughter, takes her on many dates, buys her flowers, tells her she's beautiful. They do this so their little girl can have a good reference for the kind of treatment they should be getting from men. You can be the same example for yourself. Say you never felt special or was never taught how genuine love feels from a partner. Just treat yourself like you're special. Spoil yourself. Take good care of you. And treat yourself like the irreplaceable gem that you are. That way, when someone comes along and makes you feel insignificant and replaceable, you'll know the difference. You'll know what real love feels like because you've made a habit of showing it to yourself every day. Once you've gotten yourself used to genuine love and care, you're not as accepting of anything less, which then makes cutting unfit people out of your life a bit more of a priority for you. Self-love also makes you stronger emotionally because what someone else has to say about you has little to no value when you already know who you are and love yourself anyway. What matters most is what you think and believe, because that's the biggest influence on your reality. Self-love completely changes your inner dialogue too. Instead of picking out every little imperfection about yourself when you look in the mirror, you're looking at yourself seeing something invaluable and unique. Your body was not made to be picked apart according to somebody's completely made-up beauty standards. These ideas that everyone got from outside of themselves, that they're not good enough, they're too ugly, too fat, too skinny, or too boring for this or that, those are lies. Loving yourself inspires you to stop repeating these lies to yourself and to let them go. Because those ideas are what keep people from being great. They're what keep people from heaven, from their heaven. I know a lot of the time it seems like it's the system or the laws or whatever else you can think of that's holding people back, but what I would argue is the ideas that you repeat to yourself every day have a bigger impact on your life than anything outside of you. An idea that you constantly repeat and act as if it's true is a belief, and it's your beliefs that determine what you can and can't do. Regardless of race, sex, or socioeconomic status, trials and tribulations are inevitable. Any body, shape, or form that you would have been born into in this world would have attracted some kind of hardship. It's the belief that you can get through them and move on to better things that will push you forward in life. What someone did to you, or whatever circumstance you are in now, just is what it is. What's important is that what happens next is completely up to you. Self-love is an extremely powerful tool for the mind. It's an accumulation of beliefs that are conducive to the self-esteem you want to have and the life you want to live. And recreating that foundation is an everyday practice of repeating positive affirmations or statements every day, all throughout the day, that are relevant to you, and acting as if those statements are true until it literally becomes who you are. Serious momentum takes place when someone commits to doing anything every single day. So the more time you spend uplifting yourself, only engaging in positive self-talk, only being around genuine lovers and friends, and doing what's best for your body and mental health, the more powerful and stable of a person you become. This is my perspective on self-love and why it's so important. Thank you for listening. If you feel like the video was helpful, please like and share it so more people can see it, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.